the landscape is complicated by the fact that we have parliamentary elections in between the two rounds of the presidential elections. So on Sunday, Romanians are voting for their parliament, and this kind of uncertainty triggered by the presidential elections will likely impact the result of the parliamentary elections, in the sense that we could end up with, I know, maybe a third of the parliament controlled by radical right forces. This will make it very hard in terms of forming a stable and pro-democratic government for the next 4 years. So although a lot of people are focusing on the result and outcome of the presidential elections, what's really at stake is who will govern the country, how stable the coalition, the ruling coalition will be, and whether the radical right forces will block the Euro-Atlantic path of Romania. Decision of the Constitutional Court brings even more uncertainty. But we can think about a scenario in which, those who voted in, last Sunday's election believe that their vote doesn't matter, that there are certain establishment forces that try to impose a certain presidential candidate to win the elections. So this could add even more mistrust in the electoral process, and be a problem for the Romanian democracy, where trust in elections is already low. So we can think about a scenario in which the parties supporting the two candidates who qualified for the runoff could benefit from this scenario, at least in terms of the parliamentary elections on Sunday. No. We'll know the recount after the vote on the parliamentary elections. So it's not clear if we'll have a second round between the two candidates who qualified for the runoff. And this could first affect the support for the mainstream political parties, especially the party of the Prime Minister Ciobanu, in the sense that they could be perceived as orchestrating this kind of process at the Constitutional Court. And it could also help the radical right parties who just rail against the system and talk about the fact that the system doesn't want them to be in power. We have two candidates that no one expected to end up in the runoff. We have this decision of the Constitutional Court. So this is a climate of high electoral volatility, which will for sure impact the result of the election. So I would say that Romanians should go to the polls rather than trusting the public opinion polls.
Okay.